CBS News senior national security contributor Michael Morell is a former deputy director of the CIA. He advised the Hillary Clinton campaign, and he joins us now from Washington. Good morning to you, Michael Morell.
Good morning. Good morning.
How important is the national security advisor position, and should voters be concerned that there is no one in place right now today, a month in?
So with the Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense, the National Security Advisor is the most important. It is the National Security Advisor's job to bring the national security team together and present options and recommendations to the President. So it's an extremely important job, and the fact that we don't have one right now is a problem.
Well, Vice Admiral Harwood said that part of the reason why he turned down the job was because he couldn't have his own team. We heard Reince Priebus say yesterday, well, now they can have whatever they want. Change in position?
So I think the kind of autonomy matters. It's important that the President of the United States is comfortable with your key deputies when you're National Security Advisor. So it makes sense that the National Security Advisor would have to go to the President and say, here's who I want to be my deputy, here's who I want to do this job and that job, is that okay with you? But there are other issues that should be non-negotiable. It should be non-negotiable that Steve Bannon is not on the National Security Principles Committee. So it's the kind of autonomy that matters here, not just autonomy itself.
Are there different factions in effect developing in and around the National Security Council, Michael?
Yeah, I think so. I think one faction is a Steve Bannon, Steve Miller faction, which sees an existential threat to the United States from Islam, not just jihadist Islam, but Islam itself, and from China. That faction sees Russia as an ally in the fight against Islam and the fight against China. And then you've got another group led by Mattis and Tillerson, which is much more traditional national security. The views aren't that different from the Obama administration. They see Russia as a threat. And then you have Trump himself, which seems to believe that if there are direct threats to the United States like ISIS, we'll crush them. And if not, we should withdraw from the world and worry about our own problems. So there's three different views out there, and U.S. policy has not come together yet in a way that reflects all three of those and how all that's going to work.
On that note, Michael, if you look at the Vice President's travel to Europe this weekend, it seems like America's allies are deeply concerned about what they see as an incoherent U.S. foreign policy. What's your take on that?
So they are hearing mixed messages. It's not just the Iraq message we heard about oil, right? It's messages about Russia. It's messages about the future of the alliance. They're hearing one thing from the President, and they're hearing other things from the President's team. I think what's important to remember is that the person that they really listen to, the person that they focus on, are the words of the President of the United States. Less important to them what the others say.
Michael Morell, thanks very much, Michael.